And it's me, it's the one and only Paul Friends, welcoming you to Starfleet Universe On Call. And tonight is just me and Dave, and hopefully some other people will be happy to show up on Twitch. I just started the the stream, so hopefully we'll have some people there. But tonight, what we're going to be doing is a continuation of my initial show and tell episode, which was a review of my Star Sapphire. I always want to say Starfire game, and you're going through it. It was round one of the first Star Sapphire tournament. So just to let you know, for everyone, that obviously one thing you might want to do is, if you're listening live, go over to twitch.tv/SFU on call, and we'll just see how that's probably a better place for this, because it's going to be a very video focused podcast. I will do my best to help the audio only listeners, so I can describe what's going on the screen, so you have at least an idea of how good things are, how bad things are. Okay, so with that, we'll get things started. Don't mind me. I'm at the moment, for giggles, channels and top. I'm not sure if this is the correct one or not. Yep, but this looks like the right one. I'm hoping that this is going all correctly. Okay, so I do have, it's the video recording. I will be playing it, and I might actually have to skip through things because I looked at it, and this is much longer. Well, it's like 50% longer than the last week's. So if that's the case, I might not be able to finish it in time. But we'll just have to wait and see, because it's possible at the end it might become a foregone conclusion, in which case I'll probably end at that point. So I'm going to get this thing started. Okay, this is the end of the first turn. So what we're doing here is we're going to be, just checking to make sure we're ready for EA. This was, basically this is a restart of, not restart, we save the game and we continue it on to the next week. Or I forget what day it was. But, as you can see here, my Saltorian is pretty beat up. I was actually discussing this with Barry. And he agrees that I'm in not such a good place at the moment. I'm not exactly sure what I could have done differently against the ISC. But I'm pretty sure I'll lose this game. Just for those people, it's okay. So if you notice, I've allocated everything that I need to allocate first, and I don't see. Just double checking things when it comes to my weapons. Charge the phasers up to 31 power now. 13 power left is not much. Okay, when it comes to speed. So this is my previous start. So now, right? I started slow. Right, actually I started with stopped, and this will review. I had stopped. I launched 2 wild weasels, which means this turn I'm in not such a good shape. Okay, I started with 10, went down to 9, went down to 7. Need some specific reinforcement on 6 because 6 is facing this direction here, right? This shield, and most probably he's gonna have the speed to come around me, and that's why I had extra reinforcement. Now, of course, here's the problem, which for those people who have seen this or have seen it previously, is that I am running into an issue at the moment. And that is that that his PPD fired on impulse and on turn 1. So that means he should be ready and have for turn 3 and okay. Yeah. Okay, he started speed 17, speed 10. I'm hoping I'll be able to monitor the Twitch. Okay. Okay. So you see how he's and looks like he's decided he's going to try to get behind me. I slow down a bit because I'm running out of power. Okay. Then I turn down direction D. He is okay. Let's just pause this for a moment. And that is for those who are just watching. You can see. Well, you can't see, but we got the IC coming in off my shield number 6. I'm facing direction D. He's facing direction F. He's coming right now. He's mostly on my shield number 6. He's going towards my shield number 5. He's like a couple hexes off my shield number 5. Range 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Range 9. Right there. So he's got his PPDs ready. So it's possible that at this range he has his PPDs overloaded because of he was close enough to start with to he could actually stay within range 8 for all 6 impulses, in which case I might be in deep trouble at this point. Okay. He's thinking of at this range. My guess is that he's thinking about launching a plasma torpedo. And he's firing, and probably he's firing its phaser once because he's at range 8 now. Sorry, which means most probably it's a PPD. In which case there's PPD at the cockroach. And hits for 141, and I have 3 points of reinforcement on shield number 6. So it's going to be 1 on that on that, and then reinforcement, and then 1. So, as you see, my shield is getting ever so smaller. And given that he fired at range 8, it's possible that he's overloaded his PBD. We will find out very soon. He is, forget his speed. I think his speed is still 17. Yeah, 17. So he's going to be continue on closing. Now, of course, there's the minor issue with the PBD that if he gets in too close, he gets in within range 3, then the PBD stops working. Which means for me, if I could turn in towards him, it'd probably be better for me. Okay. Oh, okay, there it goes. See, this is one of those times that you're never sure. Let's look at where he calls up, he says, I'm going to fire, and doesn't fire. The question is about why did he do that? In my mind, there's 2 possibilities. One, he did it to test to see whether I was going to fire. So kind of metagaming kind of thing. Or 2, he was thinking about firing and then decided against it. That's why in my mind I always hate the whole call for fire thing. Yeah, if you want to, okay, even the imperfect of the current system, which is pure impulse activity, is that you bring up the impulse activity window. So it tells your opponent that you might have an impulse activity. Now, where that's going to be, doesn't matter, does it? Because you have no way of knowing what your opponent's going to do. You just know that he might want some action. Overall, when you're only going to click it when you have action, but ever so often, yeah, you can do the whole metagaming thing and bring it up and then do nothing, say no activity. But to me, the whole idea of saying fire, you're pre-announcing that you're firing, and so your opponent then goes, "Oh, I probably should fire too." Well, you can also outguess them in that regard, Wait and see. Okay. Yeah, I was using obviously yep, I was using some reinforcement overall to try to get it so that my shield survived. Obviously, as you notice, my shield number 6 is down to 3 boxes. So I'm not sure why I was surprised. Given the amount of speed I was going, where else was I going to put energy? I can put it for now. Yeah, okay, I forgot. I hit, and that's a surprise, and that's a big surprise because I had to do something, so that because my shield number 6 was about to go down, so headed so I can get this shield facing. Sorry about that. Again, calls for fire and doesn't fire. Why he's doing that, I don't know. Don't mind me. I'm sorry. I should have paused it. And he hits me. Okay, he hit the pulse. Yeah, hits me again for I think that's, I forget if that's the fourth or fifth at this point. I'm sorry, I wasn't keeping track of what exact impulse he did. Yeah, he overloaded it. Because at this point, I'm asking if he has a pulse because it's possible that he doesn't have a pulse. Yeah. You fire one phaser one, and I've fired two. At the very least, my shields are not looking good at this point. Let's calculate damage. 7 points of damage against his shield number one. Unfortunately, all my damage was against his rear shield. So as long as he's attacking, he's fine. So now he's got 7 boxes off his shield number one. Yeah, I forgot the pulse for the PPD. Yep. He overloaded for 6 full pulses. So my shield number one's down. My shield number 6 is almost down. My shield number 2 is almost down. 2 has 4 boxes. 6 has 3. And number 1 has 0 boxes left. Now, he fired, which means that he could fire a phaser at me. Or actually, in theory, he could bolt. Yeah, I think he could do a fast load bolt if he wanted to. We're at range 5. For those. Okay, let me pause this for a moment. Pause the video. And that's for those people who are not watching the video. Currently, okay, the IC turned to the left. So he's now facing direction E. I'm facing, the Saltorian me is facing direction B. We have range 5. And in one, he's like 2. Yeah, he's 2 hexes off of the shield line. So, given that, that just gives you a good idea. My shield number 2 is down to 4 boxes. My shield number 3 is down to 7 boxes. Shield number 1's down. Shield number 6 has 3 boxes left. 4 has a heck of a lot more. It's like, let me just, 9, so it's 15. Yeah, 15 boxes. And my shield number 5 has like 15 boxes. I think I got that right. Sorry, it's 11 boxes. So I got, a lot of my shields are gone. While the IC has only 7 boxes off shield number 1. Shield number 4 is completely gone. So he can easily fire. Fight. He's got, so now he's firing 3 more phaser 1s at me. He rolls 1, 2, 2, which is really hurts. At 13 points of damage on my shield number 2, which only has 4 boxes. obviously I don't have a reinforcement. He knocks out one particle cannon, knocks out the phaser 3. In addition to that, he kills 3 power, 2 impulse, 1 warp. Wow, he's just noticing there was like 4 11s, which is interesting. I agree. Yeah, he was wondering um when we were facing each other, he was wondering why I did not fire. Well, after his turn, he was wondering why I fired it. And I think also he was wondering after he turned, and the thing is, yeah, when he was facing me and I had my PCs in arc, he was wondering why I didn't fire. And I told him basically because I thought he was going to come in closer. But he didn't. He decided to actually turn off. And since he decided to turn off, then my weapons were now out of arc and I'm screwed. Now maybe, I should have thought about that and realized that it would have been better for me to actually fire it at a longer range because I had a guarantee that it was still in arc. But I think the range was still pretty bad for my PCs, which are, I think, it was like 50% to hit. So whether I should have fired or not, Well, the tough part about this one is that one of my PCs is toast. So if I should have at least fired one of them. Because given that my shield boxes, which were so low, I should have anticipated that it was a possibility that at least one of my torpedoes would have been gone. Just like, that's why a lot of times you pre-fire. That's why I fire like at least one. I fired 2 phaser 1s at them. The main reason was just so that I could fire them. They were in arc and I could do some damage. And in theory, I might have been, actually, the one reason why I'm holding my phasers, I'm pretty sure, is because he still has plasma torpedoes that are available. And I want to save those phasers so that I can fire at the plasma torpedoes because I have no way of wild weaseling any torpedoes that he sends out at me at this moment in time. Exactly. Yeah, because he's saying that he turned. Right, and this is, he's still 4 more internals because he's right before the shield arc. He goes past the arc of shield number 2. So that means he got 4 internals. Yeah, 4 internals. He knocks another 2 phasers. 1 phaser 3, 1 phaser 1. And this will let you know, obviously the phaser 3s, I took the right side. The phaser 1 I took as a front arc right. The idea being that given that my front shields are really toast, at the very least, I still can fire in my rear arc, like the right side, and still be behind some shielding. At least that's my thinking on the whole situation. So let's continue on. And he knocked down another warp also. And of course, the Wild Weasel from not last week, 2 weeks ago, that's still going. Still moving. So that's okay. he's now moved past me, and he's basically, let me look. Yeah, we're down at the bottom of the board because these are 30s here. So that's the very end of the board. So at some point he's going to have to turn, which is fine for him because he's got all this shielding. Now the problem is that I don't have much shielding left. I still have plenty of weapons. I just don't have shields to fight behind. So it made things really difficult. He increased the speed to speed 18. Mine's still speed 9. And as seen on the video, you can see that I actually have a midterm speed change plotted for speed 7, and there it is. On impulse 19, I changed it to speed 7. Obviously, impulse 19 exactly it's not helpful. It basically communicates to your opponent that you are now stuck at that speed for the rest of the turn, because of you have to wait 8 impulses. Actually, no, you could actually. No, 19, I think you can still, if you change on 19, that means you're fine. As long as you don't announce on 19, because that means it's changed for 20. Because the last time you can announce is 27 and change on 28. Okay, and now, for those who aren't watching the video, the ISE just turned from E to F. He right now is off. Let me just double check. He's off my shield number 4. He's gone all around behind me as I've slowly kept on going straight up. Because turning in to the right, I'm giving up my down shield. So right now I have 2 down shields. I have my number 1 shield's down, the number 2 shield's down. Number 6 shield has got 3 boxes, but at least it has something. So at this point, I'm probably going to. I forget what I. It's been so long. I don't know what to do. So let's watch and see what happens. The question in my mind is: will he launch a fast load F? 2, he still has one other. If I recall correctly, he still has one other F that he can launch. Forget that's I'm pretty sure, at the very least, the fast load F. Which thing is, I don't think he has that in Arc because of the first turn plasma. I'm pretty sure was the left side one. Okay, so now we're impulse 25. He's range 8, almost directly behind me. Okay, he changes on impulse 27. He changes his speed down to 17 from 18. But again, he's now range 10, almost directly behind me. Center line behind me. Now he's range 10, center line behind me. Now, if it was closer, that might be not such a bad thing, because then I could get 4 phaser 1s and fire at his shield number 3. But this is always the gotcha when it comes to these kind of games. You have to decide whether actually firing at him and just pinging his shield for a perfectly good. I'm just going to pause this for a moment. You want to decide whether you can ping a perfectly good shield is such a good idea, versus saving that energy and waiting for another opportunity. Now, that is where the rubber hits the road, which is if you don't do anything, then you're allowing your opponent to get away scot-free. And if you worked on possibly another shield and focused on the other shield, or maybe two shields, at the very least, you can then take advantage of that in future turns. Now, obviously, that might have been a good idea for me when he was at range 5. I could have fired another, I think, 4 phaser ones at him at range 5. So I couldn't have fired my PCs, but at least I could have fired my phaser ones. In which case, he would have a more damaged shield number 2, and therefore I'd have possibly inroads in the future. I'm going for shield number 4. Turn number 4. I'm down to 36 power from 40 power. Yeah, I had to blow away one of my PBDs but I'm still holding the other 3 with enough energy for overloading. If you noticed, okay, for those people, I've increased the amount of power to speed, which is understandable considering that he's now definitely. Well, I can't guarantee that he has, but it's reasonable to think that he will finish the not charging, but the arming. Sorry, the arming of his his plasma G. Now the question is, will he finish or will he do a rolling delay? Because he might do a rolling delay if he decides to launch another enveloping, and given my shields, that makes a lot of sense. Given that I don't have much shields left, an enveloping plasma torpedo would be an excellent idea because of definitely 2 shields. They would have to do internals on those 2 shields, and then of course probably on the 3rd shield he'd probably do the same thing. Now obviously, the one thing he has to do, this is the difficult part for him, is that currently we're at a distance of range 13. Now, given that we're at range 13, it's going to make it difficult for him to fire it, to launch that plasma torpedo, because that means he has to double the amount of energy. So it goes from 2 points of energy up to 6. To have it so that it's a developing plasma G. I think I got that right. Yeah. For G, it's 3. S is 4. R is 5. Had to think about that for a moment. But anyway, so that slows him down, which is a good thing. Now, obviously, he could, if he wants to, he can say, okay, don't charge my phasers and just work on the plasma. And that's going to be his focus. Now, I'm assuming that he's still going to be working on recharging his other plasmas. He might, I don't know, I forget if he actually launched a plasma F on turn 1. Because if he did, then obviously he could finish off the F also, or he can then just do a rolling delay on the plasma F. That's all up to him. So, yeah, I use reserve warp here to charge 1 while weasel in turn 4. Do I actually remember to recharge finish off my 2 other wild weasels? Right. Okay. So I did. Just want to double check because I don't remember if I did or not. Double check his position, and I'm all good. So at this point, okay. Sir _ cat who eats photons has shown up. Just to watch me getting completely and utterly annihilated. Okay, let me just This, okay, there it is. Okay, the IC starts at speed 12. I'm starting at speed 17 on turn 4. So with that, I'm running away as fast as my little feet can carry me. Now, okay, for those who are not watching the video, now we're range 18. He's off my shield number 5, and he's still going. Right now, he's going direction F because he turned actually late last turn, but he basically stayed along the bottom border of the board. And while I'm closer to the right hand side of the board, going direction D, my actual hex is 3521. His actual hex is 1727, 29, to give you an idea of our positions. So if you want to look it up, you can look it up. Obviously, if you want to, you could look at the video, and I'm showing you right now on the video of our distant ranges. So obviously, to me, since he is still going along the side of the board, he doesn't have an enveloper ready for me. So he's charging up. I'm assuming he's probably also going to be repairing his shield. Well, we got, okay, the Gorn is decided to think impulse 19, and given that we're also range 23. At this point, I'm pretty bad shape. This is turn 4, to let you know. Okay, he just turned to direction A after 13 moves, and we're still at range 24 is what we are at. So that means he's getting all set for next turn. So he's still going speed 12. I'm going speed 17. He's pretty much coming straight up, looks like. And we're at impulse 30, still ranges 24 and 25. And it looks like he's just coming straight up. And we're impulse 32, and we end the turn at 25, range of 25. And I repaired 2 boxes on my shield number 1, and also I repaired 2 of my right side phaser 3s using continuous damage repair. Okay. So things are still not looking good. I've now have 2 shields to fight behind, kind of. Shield number 1 and shield number 6 now, shield number 6 has 3 boxes. Shield number 1 has 2 boxes. And so in theory, I can turn around and fire at him. Taking a look, see where he is. He's way off my shield number 3. Sorry, number 5. At range 25. I'm just trying to figure out what to do, because my only option really is to turn around and fire my PCs. The problem is that when I turn around, I'm assuming that for this turn that his enveloper is going to be ready and probably going to be firing at me. Don't mind me. I forgot Carroll stopped by. I don't know who Carroll is. I don't think it's Tom Carroll. I know it is. Tom Carroll was a very famous rated ace when it comes to Starfleet battles. Okay. So I had some 4 points of reinforcement. Yes, here's my dock. Here's my dock. So it looks kind of weird, but it is what it is. He's going to speed 25. No, sorry. He's going to speed 24. I'm going to speed 15. Big surprise there. I've turned in. Now we're closing at range 22. He's off my shield number 6 at this point because of he turned in. We're already to impulse 15. He's closed into range 17. Oh yeah, forgot about that. My yeah, I forgot the wall weasel. When it hits the wall, it stops, takes 5 points of damage, and it stops dead. So it's got 1 point left. Yeah, we were actually looking up to see if a shuttle, if it hits the wall, does it actually just keep banging itself against the wall? Yeah, that's the one thing. Let me just bring that up. Which is, we're discussing ships, if they hit the wall, they stop. But if it's a sinking shuttle, it doesn't stop. It just keeps on hitting the wall. And what we noted was that we're questioning whether a wall weasel is actually a sinking shuttle, because Grim was mentioning that basically it's a ballistic targeting, because that's basically what it is. It's you launch it going that direction or whatever direction, and it just keeps going. Now, but it still takes damage, so it will definitely slow down to speed 3. But it basically, according to what we think it is the rule, which is that it will ram itself to death. Which is interesting if you didn't know about that rule. Because one thing you always have to remember is that even after the shuttle is voided, it keeps moving. If you void the shuttle, and I voided the wild weasel. Sorry, not voided the shuttle. Okay, he's up to range. He's closing into range 14 on impulse 23 of turn 5. He's closing like a shark on the prey, And my cockroach is going to be, my little Satorian cockroach ship is going to get crushed. I'm still at the top of the board at this point, and he's still at range 12. Then Grim has an issue with his wife trying to talk to him while he's trying to play the game at the same time. That's always tough to do, doing two things at the same time. Yeah. Waiting. He wanted to know we're on impulse 20. Actually, we're on impulse 27. He said wanted to make sure, wanted to go to 27 and didn't want me to back up before people moved. No, and they said, "I'll go ahead." So basically, it's his move on 27. Yes, it's his move. And then he, at this point, yep, as expected, he launches his enveloping plasma torpedo at range 11 on impulse 27. So that's one. Now, the one thing is, in theory, next turn, he could have another enveloping plasma torpedo coming in. Now, fortunately, at this point, I've got Wild Weasels all charged up and ready to roll. Now, obviously, if you look at the situation, this is becoming quite dire overall because of the issue being that I don't have much shield left. He's got plenty. He's got plasma torpedoes which can be recharged and rearmed, and then they just keep on bopping me. Now, the important thing is I have to make sure I get enough internals on him to wipe away enough of his weapons so that I can survive. Fortunately, I still, as I pointed out, I still have those two Wild Weasels. Now, that means I have to stop. That means he can keep approaching, and I'll run out of Wild Weasels before he runs out of plasma, which is the problem. Because Wild Weasels are a temporary measure. You have to know what you're going to do afterwards. Okay, at this point, he turned away from me. He turned to direction C. So now his plasma is coming in, but he's running away. Now, that doesn't mean he's actually running away. He might just want to have his plasma F now facing me. But now we're coming to the end of the turn. His plasma, oh, that's wrong plasma. It says range 22, that's not right. His plasma is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 hexes away. It will be, okay, now 6 hexes away. And that should be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hexes. And he asks if there's any impulse activity before on impulse 32, where we are currently at. His range is range 11. And nope. Nope, no in the turn because of I didn't have everything to repair that I felt like I could repair. Yeah, I charged up my web crackers. Sorry, my shield crackers. / web breakers. Decrease the speed. Okay, that. Yeah, I start at speed 8, go down to speed 4, go back up to speed 8. Obviously, the reason why I wanted to decrease down to speed 4 was for Wild Weasels. And I wanted to be able to have it so that I can still move, in theory. Now, don't mind me there's a little glitch in the client. I still have to figure that out. Where if I click on it, it doesn't quite select the speed right. Change it so that I'm doing a flat 4. Looks like I'm keeping an eye on things because I'm looking at the situation going, okay, I put 10 points of reinforcement into shield number 1. and 10 points of reinforcement into shield number 6. So the idea being that I can turn my butt around and take the plasma and possibly reinforce against anything that he actually launches at me. In theory, if he launches a plasma F, I should be able to stop that. And I'm assuming at this point that I am actually going to Wild Weasel away the enveloping, because I'd be stupid not to. Okay. Beginning of turn, he announces speed 17. I'm announcing speed 4. He's still running away from me at range 11. Now, the question is going to be, is he going to turn in? My guess is that he's going to turn in, because I remember one thing. I don't remember what happens in this game. I played this game that happened in the past, but I do not know what happens. So both you and I are going to see what happens in this wonderful, wonderful game. Okay, we're done into impulse 3. Okay, yeah, I decided to fix the range tracking so I can actually track the proper torpedo. At this point, I'm launching a Wild Weasel, and this is impulse 4. He announced the speed change to speed 23. Just to let you know, for those who aren't watching the video, he turned in this impulse, so he's coming in. I launched my Wild Weasel to Wild Weasel away the plasma. So let's. This. Okay. He moved and launched direction C. So direction C, I forget what that means. Yeah, I think it's off my shield number 5. Right. Yeah. Activating fire control as soon as it hit the Wild Weasel. Now, that means I'm down to 1 Wild Weasel in one shuttle in all the shuttles I got. He's closed into range 10. I'm completely right off his left oblique. Right up the hex row. So his shield number 6 is facing my shield number 5. And it's range now 9. He side slipped towards me. Now I turn in to direction E so that I can keep the shield up. And I'm hoping to and impulse 9, so my fire control is now active and ready to roll. Still only range 9. Well, at this point I'm probably hoping that he's going to turn his shield number 1 towards me. And yeah, you have only 1 shuttle left, right? Yep, that's right. I only have 1 shuttle left. And plasma B, he launches a 20-point plasma, which could be a G. Also, it could be a pseudo. Now, the only question I have, at least for myself, is did I recognize this as a pseudo or was this a real plasma? You know, this is always the tough part about plasma torpedoes, which is the guessing game. Is it a pseudoplasma or is it real? And it's slowly closing. It's now at range 3. He's out to range 11. Yeah, I think I basically fired my phasers at it. Because 7 says 3 off. The idea being that I can, it can hit me, but I can take minimal internals because of my reinforcement. And waiting for, he sights, okay. He's actually turned the range, the direction, just to let you know. He turned the direction A. Last impulse, this turn, he actually side slipped. Also, it was revealed that the plasma was truly fake. So that, yeah, it cost me 2 phasers, but I didn't use my Wild Weasel because Lord knows the big thing here when it comes to that Wild Weasel is that it's my last one. If I used it on a fake, I'm stuck. He's won, period. Because of if we continue on, he can close in or wait for me to avoid my Wild Weasel because at some point I'm going to have to do it, in which case he launches his plasmas and I'm toast. You know? So even this situation, in theory, I probably should have given up at this point. But, you know, I'm hard-headed that way. Yeah. He figured that I was going to assume it was a fake. But, you know, it leads me, at the very least, to me, I feel much better about it that I was level-headed enough to not be concerned about a plasma coming in and automatically assuming it's, you know, I was like, oh no, another plasma, and then use, in fear, launch the Wild Weasel to protect me and have it turn out to be fake. You know? So, okay, then we're on to impulse 16 of turn 6. Now 20. He's still closing in. He's now range 8. Which means he's now in overloaded range. He's now we have the firing his PBD again, in which case I'm in deep trouble because I only have 10 points of reinforcement that will only allow for 3 hits of his PBD. And given that he waited until his range 8, most probably it's overloaded and just going to blast down my my shield. And in theory, if I wanted to, I could actually launch a Wild Weasel and do the EW shift thing, but it's my last Weasel, so I can't do that. Okay, so all right, 5, 6. Slowly blowing away my shields. Now I'm down to 1 box of on impulse. On my shield number 5. still have 6 boxes, shield number 4. So the fire segment, fire decision. At this point, I can't fire hardly anything at him because he's out of my front arc. So hopefully I can do some. At this point, I feel pretty confident that I turned in at this point. After this impulse, I fired 2 phaser 1s at him. He fires 3 phaser 1s at me. His 3 phaser 1s are going to hit my shield number 5. So we have to wait and see what happens. Okay. Yeah, my 2 phaser 1s, they missed because I rolled 2 6s. He got 7 points of damage on my shield number 5. I use my reinforcement, and it blows away 2 of my phaser 3s on the left side. And then the PBDs hit again. And there goes 2 of my phaser 1s on my left-hand side because that was the only thing that was really facing. Impulse 24, I turn into him, giving a brand new shield to focus on. Still going to get internals on shield number 5, but I have, as you know, shield number 6 is reinforced. He launches a shuttle towards me. I'm assuming at this point that that's probably a suicide. Either that, it could be just an admin shuttle, and he just blasts me with his phaser 3s, which can be heck a lot of annoying. When it comes to knife fights, shuttles are the worst thing in the world. I hate them when my opponent launches them. Now, obviously, if I have a plasma torpedo or something along those lines, some other seeking weapon, those shuttles might not come out because of, they need them for wild weasels. But I usually fly a Centaurian or something, Andromedan or something like that, so I don't have any seeking weapons. Nothing to distract them, And he fires a phaser 1 at me. And I fired 3 overloaded, and they all hit for 18 points of damage against the shield number 6. And then my 3 phaser 1s. So I do a total of 30 points of damage. No, actually, I'm pretty sure. Okay. Right. And the fun part is that here's the one thing that I'm not sure, for those watching the video might have caught on, but I just caught on, which is I did something really, really dumb. I had charged my shield crackers. I did not fire my shield crackers. In which case, it's kind of pointless at this point. And he fired his, he knocked, let me see, at this point, I've got 2 particle cannons dead and 1 web breaker dead. Then we have 3 more from the phasers. Hit the phaser, so when my phaser 1s go bye-bye. And left warp, so I'm slowly losing power. Yeah, I had to go back and check when he actually started firing his PBD. That's why I choose to pause to go look at it. Yeah. Yeah. One more pulse for the PBD. He wanted to fire. So he fires again on that turn. Unfortunately, I don't have more internals on him, and because I am an idiot. I'm waiting for him. Okay, he fires 2 more phaser ones at me. Hits with a 1 and a 2 at range 5, so that's 9 points of damage. That's one thing I really need to look up is when PBDs actually hit. He knocked out quite a bit of power, and my web breaker that's 2 of them gone. At this point, I'm willing to bet that if we launch another shuttle. Now, at this point, I'm hoping it's a suicide shuttle, because suicide shuttles, you kill and they're dead. Oh, he bolted his rear, and he hits for 10 more points of damage. So 10 more internals, blows away my particle cannon and some more power. So I'm down to 1 particle cannon, 1 web breaker, 4 phaser 1s, and 2 phaser 3s. That's where he's left me near the end of turn 6. Now, basically, to me, at this point in time, the game is pretty much over. I'm toast at this point, because I've got all this internals. He's got nothing. He has no internals whatsoever, and now he launches an enveloper, which doesn't matter. His enveloper is going. I'm going to launch my wild weasel, and his plasma is going to hit my wild weasel, because he hasn't gotten to my shuttle bay yet. My weasel, it launches, and at that point, it turns, hits my wild weasel. Yeah, and at that point, wow, still have quite a bit of time just seeing her recording. Okay, but as you can see, I realized at this point that my game was over. This is my ship. It's just awful. Bit of damage. I've got all my front hull is gone. Aft hull gone. I have 2 batteries left. I have all my transporters, which is weird. My shuttles are still available. No, I still have both my tractor beams, which again, weird. Given all the number of internals I've got, those still exist. Why? I don't know. I still have 3 of the 4 labs. I have a few of those, and I have a good bit of power. But the problem is, as you know, he's got hardly any damage whatsoever. I've got practically no shields. I've got 2 boxes of shield number 1. I've got 5 boxes shield number 4, and I've got 7 boxes shield number 3. Other than that, I have no boxes. No shield number 2, 6, or 5. So I am dead at this moment in time. Now, where did it all go wrong? You might ask. And I asked that myself. It's okay. Where did it all go wrong? And I'm honest. I'm not sure what I could have done differently to a certain degree. What I probably should have done was when he launched the enveloper, run away from the enveloper as fast as possible. As soon as he launched it, turn away. That's probably what I should have done. Now, obviously, there's the issue with doing that, which is that when I do that, at that point, what happens? I concede initiative to him. Now, obviously, that is what seeking weapons are supposed to do. Seeking weapons are mobile terrain. They are there to control your opponent's ability to move. Or more importantly, it forces your opponent to move where you want him to do and not where he wants to go. So, but with enveloping, see, the thing is, enveloping plasma torpedoes are insidious. The reason why they're insidious is because if you think about it, especially these Gs, you think about it, what do I take? I'll take 40 points of damage or 6 shields. That's what, like 6 points? 6 points of damage to each shield. I can take that, no problem. But it's insidious. Now you have a 24, you have 3 24s, and you have 3 18s. Now, there's 4 more points of damage that get around. So it's more like 3 23s. But a lot of your shield just went away. And you figure, you can take that and you keep going. Yes. But the problem is that when you keep going, you have less shields to fight behind. Your opponent just got a leg up on you because you don't have nearly as much shielding anymore than you used to have. Those phaser ones now can easily penetrate your rear shields. He's got 6 of them. Given 6 of them at range 5, he can penetrate any of those rear shields now. While previously he couldn't, because you had 6 more boxes, and that there is basically takes around 2 phaser ones to equal that. A little less than 2, but basically 2. For 6 points of damage at range 5. It's 1.5, but as I said, doesn't matter. So given that, that's one thing always to keep an eye on, which is those enveloping plasma torpedoes. You have to run. I think that's probably where I went wrong, was not running away from the enveloping plasma torpedo because of that. Now, when do you not run away from the enveloping plasma torpedo? That is, if you can get in close. Because what's going to happen for you is that you have to run through it, keep going, and be able to get to a close range and really knock the heck out of them. That's the only way you're going to be able to take advantage of it. Now, obviously, the Saltorian doesn't have that big of a punch. But let's say you're flying Federation, the Federation command cruiser, i.e., it has 4 photons. You can start with 2 of those being fully overloaded, and your phasers, so you can easily fly through that enveloping plasma, come in closer, and if you can get in close now, like range 2, you can really hurt him hard, or even maybe range 4, because I know that, who was it? I think Bill Scheller. When he was flying the Fed, the one thing he always wanted to do, he wanted to get the range 2 with those photons. But he would take the range 4 shot if necessary. Obviously, he didn't want to get too far out because of it gets, I think, range 3 and 4 is 1 to 4. and then 5 to 8 is like 1 to 3 for photons. So that's why he always wanted to get in close for that one big shot when it comes to the photons. Because, come on, let's be honest. When it comes to the Federation, the command cruiser, and those stupid photons, those photons are just they are energy hogs. If you think about it, think about trying to, after you fire your overload photons, now let's try to rearm all 4 fully overloaded. What is that? That's 16 points of power per warp power per turn, which is absolutely and totally nuts. It's not possible. You're not going. You got 38 power, which means you have 22 power left. Sorry, you have 18 power left because there's 4 points of power towards housekeeping that you have to put in, and that's assuming you don't do another 2 for like wild weasels. In which case, you're going to go really, really slow. And that doesn't even doesn't even discuss the possibility of you actually recharging your phasers. Because let's say you fire 8 phasers and you want to recharge them. There's another, if you want to do over 2 turns, 4. Okay, now you're putting 20 points of energy towards your weapons. This is nuts. So, I think the big thing for me, the takeaway from this game is to not close in on developers, even though it's very tempting to do so. Especially with, in this case, the ISC, where you take that damage and then he still has the PPD that he's going to be pummeling you with, even if it's just for 4 impulses. Of course, for him, this game, he got twice. He got fully overloaded PPD. This is not good. That gives him basically 4 more pulses of another almost complete firing of PPD that I gave to him for free. Obviously, you have to pay the energy for it, but I gave him the opportunity twice. And that's because of how slow I was going. Now, later on in the game, I don't see I had much choice when it comes to going slow. At the very end where I was going speed 4, I didn't have much choice. I needed to stay slow because I needed to have the ability to fire the wild weasels. But, even me, let's say, just for giggles, at the very end. If at the very end, I actually remembered to fire my shield crackers. And let's say I actually got them to hit, all 3 of them. That's 12 points of damage. Now, let's say that I actually got 12 internals. Woohoo! Still not enough. I could have gotten, like, let's say, if I was real lucky, let's say two phasers, 1 plasma, and two plasmas, because he would have used one of his plasma Fs to protect his PPD. So, in that case, he still has 2 plasmas, the PPD, and heck of a lot more phasers to fire at me. So, and he still had lots of power. So, it was still done at the end. Okay? Well, with that, I think we will end this lovely podcast. I don't have any more games. Well, actually, I don't. I have another game coming up. So for those who are only looking at the video and not listen to the podcast, where I actually have a news portion where I announce about what's new products that are coming to ADB that they've announced. Also, certain things that they've announced when it comes to what they've actually put out, like in this case, GURPS 2020 edition. They just did that. Now, the one thing is Sapphire 3 tournament has started, meaning we got the signups. All 16 players have started. there will be a tree put out either today or tomorrow, and we'll have to see where I land. Now, I've let you know I'm playing Flying the Stellarian again, so I will see if I will record another session. I might do this all over again for people, and hopefully I will do better this time. I've had some interesting games. I think the last one against the TKE and no, it wasn't TKE. It was I think it was I'm thinking about this because I was facing an LDR. Oh, versus my Romulan versus LDR, and that was a good game. That was a really good game. I enjoyed that. Unfortunately, I was very much I did quite well, though. I still want to kick myself for making one mistake where I could have really just pummeled him completely at the beginning of the game, but I gave him an extra 2 turns, and so he actually hurt me a little bit, and I could have gone scot-free and just completely won. So, Russ, I will definitely will record for you. And with that, I am Paul Franz, and I bid you a good night.